There we go. I got the new light, but it's still not getting rid of all the blue over here. I'm sorry if this video comes up kind of late. I haven't had internet for a few days. But my camera works, internet or not, so I thought I'd go ahead and record the video anyway. This week is a tip video, and I wanted to speak about something that kind of gets to me every now and then is balance of probability and how it's used in deduction. In case you're not quite sure what balance of probability is, it's Occam's razor, which is a principle that states that the simplest answer is usually the correct one. The simplest answer, the one with the highest likelihood, the highest percent chance, the highest factors, etc., is usually the correct answer. And this is true. Occam's razor works with statistics, and that's why it works so well. However, I have seen so many deductionists use Occam's razor, balance of probability, incorrectly. And I will give an example actually from BBC's Sherlock first episode, A Study in Pink, where he basically says that the killer is male because the balance of probability, or actually he says killer is probably male because that's statistically more likely. And that's true. Most serial killers in general, but most serial killers are going to be male because of statistics. I've only ever heard of a couple of serial killers that were female. I'm sure there's more than that out there, obviously, but the balance of probability here is that it's going to be male because various reasons indicate that a serial killer will be male. However, the way that this conclusion was drawn, in my opinion, is very wrong, because he allowed himself to assume that this serial killer was a male, even though there had been no evidence except for the balance of probability that suggested a male killer. What I view to be correct use of Occam's razor, or balance of probability, is when you're weighing multiple outcomes, multiple conclusions of a deduction. Let's say you have two conclusions, and one of them is not usually very common of an answer to this problem, but in this instance it has all of the evidence supporting it. And then on the other hand, you have another conclusion, which is usually the more common one, but balance of probability is suggesting that it would be this one. Which one do you choose? Well, in this instance, you ignore balance of probability because all of the evidence is pointing to this one, even if the one with higher statistics, higher chance, is usually the second option. Conversely, if you have a piece of evidence that you're trying to figure out, and you have all the evidence here, and you're trying to figure out what the missing piece is, for example, once you've exhausted all other avenues, I might suggest Occam's razor to figure out what that missing piece is. What the most obvious, statistically most likely answer to that missing piece might be. Jumping to the conclusion using Occam's razor from the beginning is not, in my opinion, how balance of probability should be used and applied to deduction. I hope this comes off as a tip video and not a slight rant. I'm not really that upset about it. I've seen several deductionists use Occam's razor incorrectly. Like I said, I even mentioned there's the reference to Sherlock Holmes. I believe he used it incorrectly. Statistics should be used not as evidence points, in my opinion, but as research points or as backup points to when you already are coming up to your conclusion and you look at the statistics and they seem to support you. If you look at the statistics and they don't support you, maybe give it a second look, but that's what I think of Occam's razor. Anyway, that's it for today's tip video. Thank you for watching and have a good day.